Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope this finds you good and well. This is a your daily spiritual guidance message. Take what resonates and leave the rest. It's a collective message, so some of it may resonate and some may not. Just bear in mind we're in the energy of the new moon in Libra, which is tomorrow, the 21st of October. So we may be picking up some themes around that. And the new moon in Libra is literally about implementing any sort of changes we want to make in relationships. And that's not just romantic, that's like platonic relationships too. So you may have been fighting in the last number of weeks, really since the full moon in Aries. Time that you have been, your relationships have been more in focus and you've been sort of like contemplating, am I getting out of this what I want, and am I behaving the way that I should be behaving towards the other person too? So that may come up in the next couple of days, so just bear that in mind. Later on today, I'm going to do an angelic message, a message from the angels. So if it's something you're interested in, if you want to hit the subscribe button and press the bell, you'll be notified when I upload that. So let's see, for today's energy, Monday, the 20th of October, what do we need to know? What does the collective need to know today, please? What is the message? What do we need to know? Justice. Okay. Justice is here. Let's see what else. Whoa. Okay. We're all flying out today. What else is there here? Spirit guide. Okay. Justice and spirit guide. Was there something you're feeling here that you've been seeking justice for? Healing? You've been seeking justice for something here, and maybe you've been sort of like tapping into your spiritual time and sort of saying, like, when's this going to come into play here? Peace. Like with these cards, I sense a lot of like isolation here, time on your own. Whatever has happened here, you've taken a lot of time out on your own family. And there's been a lot of sort of inner contemplation done here, commitment. Underneath the deck here is grieving and also boundaries. So we have justice, spirit guides, healing, peace, family, and commitment. As I said, there's a feeling here of like isolation, almost like hermit mode. There's been something that has come into play here for you. There's a card in reverse. What's this? Five of Cups. It's also the grieving card. There's something that has come to light here for you this last wee while. This isn't something that's just happened. You've been in this sort of mindset, in this sort of um what do you want to call it? Time out, this kind of, this mood. It's you've been in this kind of, can't think of the right word that I want to describe it. But this has been gradually building. You've been gradually thinking about this. You've been looking at sort of things and people in your life, commitments in your life here, how you behave, how they behave. Very new moony energy here. But I feel like this has been going on for a number of months. This isn't something that's just new to you here. Something here you've been like, how do I resolve this? Is a feeling. So for Monday the 20th, what do we need to know? Wheel of Fortune, okay? Destiny is at play. Queen of Pentacles. Could this be around a mother energy? There's something here where sort of like There's your Five of Cups again. There's something around mother energy. Could you be working on or looking at your mother wound here? The Tower. Something around a realization here. So somebody could be sort of like whoever's resonating with this, they have suddenly maybe begun to look at their mother or their mother's behavior in a different way, how their mother treats them here. You know, it feels here, the Queen of Pentacles is a really great homemaker. She's good at balancing the books. She's good at keeping everything in order. She's the receipt keeper. She knows everything about everything sort of thing, but there's not a lot of emotion here either. Two of Wands in reverse. So maybe there's something here looking back now on childhood and you're sort of feeling like I didn't get a lot of nurturing from my mother. Two of Swords. And almost this feeling here with the Two of Wands in reverse and the Two of Swords. It's like there wasn't a lot of encouragement here either. There was no sort of like, right, okay, you can do this. What do you want to do? I'm here to help you. I can feel my throat sticking a little bit, so I don't know what the communication was like. King of Cups. This mother energy could be an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. And we could have a father here who is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And I feel the father energies like a bit, they're coming in as being a little bit sort of like unstable emotionally. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they're not good at showing their emotions either. So it's like there is an imbalance here. Chariot. There's like an imbalance between these two. And then there's the children, the family. So it's like, I definitely feel here the mother in this scenario is the lead. She's the one who is the lead here. And the father just kind of like more or less goes along with what she says here. But you're seeing things differently here. You've been in this kind of self isolation here, this hermit mode for quite some time, and you now see this devil energy. And I mean, I want to be clear here. This isn't saying that these are bad parents. That's not what I'm getting at here. Everyone has their issues. Everyone has their things going on here. But you're starting to realize now how sort of they have passed their attitudes and things on to you. And that's not been healthy for you. With the devil energy here, it hasn't helped you. You haven't received the nurturing or the encouragement here to be bold and move forward in your life how you want to. You've been kind of restricted here. You've had to play things regardless of what age you are here. You've had to play things by mum's rules, really. Because I don't even feel like dad's really. Dad seems more like I just sense dad sort of stands behind mum more, and it's like mum's the one who speaks the terms and conditions, and dad just nods along. It's sort of like she's the one here who makes the rules. There is the Four of Cups in reverse. So I kind of feel that that's you now, where you've sort of felt like this fella sitting at the table here going, what I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do the other. And now you're like, no, I'm no longer like that. I don't need to ask for permission here. I don't need to get your approval. I don't need to hear you say, oh, yes, this is great because I know what I want and I'm going to do it myself. Queen of Swords. I feel that you. It's like you're not listening. There's maybe a lot of negativity comes from this Queen of Pentacles energy. Quite a lot of negative kind of, everything's kind of like, that saying, the glass is half empty, it's not half full. There's always, a downer look on things. There's not like, well, this didn't work or this didn't come through. Well, it wasn't meant to be. There's something better. They're like, oh, well, sure, it's always like that. Sure, nothing ever works out. No, it's that kind of mindset on it. It's not looking at it and going, right, well, it's like going to buy a new car and you see one and you go and the dealer says, I'm sorry, somebody's just put a deposit in that. You're like, fuck, I really wanted that. But it's having that mindset of, right, well, I wasn't meant to have that car. There's something better. And sure as goodness, somewhere along the line, you see something and then you go, I'm glad I didn't get that car. It's about trying to have that mindset about things. If it doesn't pull through for you, it's not meant for you. Something else is. But this Queen of Pentacles energy is just always in the doom and gloom. They don't think that way. They're just like, oh sure, nothing ever works out for me. Nothing ever works out. Everything's always a disaster. But they don't see why. And then when something does work out, it's almost then like, oh sure, I'll not be long till something happens and that'll go to shit. It's a really kind of downer, and that's rubbed off on you in a sense of, you've had to listen to that and that has like messed up your mindset in a way. So then when there's been opportunities or things arisen for you in the past, you haven't went for them because you're like, oh, there's no point because like this will not work out. Ten of Swords. There's no point in going for that because that'll not work out. So it's like, you've been having this mindset through childhood. It's like, there's no point trying because I'll just end up betrayed or defeated. But that's been a fear that has been passed to you by somebody else, and this mother energy here, they have their own things to work through here. But the problem is, and it's what, when we go on this healing journey, and the healing card is here, when we go on a healing journey, then we start to see what mindsets or what energies we have taken on from other people that's not actually our own. And you have started to see this, what your mindsets have been, where you felt restricted, that you can't just go and do what you want to do because you've heard mum's voice in your head. But that's mum's insecurity or dad's here, the hermit. You've now sort of gone within, you've went, that's things they need to work on. But it almost feels like this, it's like everything though, if somebody's like, hurt people, right? So it's like, if they have an insecurity, they pass that insecurity onto you. They start to make you paranoid about things that you were never paranoid about before. So they're trying to pass a trauma onto you. That's kind of like, and then we move on to another relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic or platonic, romantic or platonic, it doesn't matter. We move into another relationship and we start passing it on to somebody else. But where did it originate from? It's not actually our trauma at all, but somebody else has passed it to us, and that's what's happening there, or what your realization is here. You've been taking on somebody else's sort of mindset here. Three of Cups. There's now kind of like a freeing energy about it because it felt quite like the weight of the world on your shoulders here dealing with this, because it felt like there was never like a joyous kind of feeling around this unit, it always felt heavy. It always felt like everything's just like going to shit all the time. There was no lightness to it. There was no fun. Like I don't get a sense of fun here at all. There's there's no real lightheartedness. Let's just let our hair down here. It like that's not here. King of Pentacles. It's like that's not here. That sort of carefree energy. Nine of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Seven of Wands. Maybe a little bit here too. Realization in a way from you of codependency. And that too has been a program. That too has been a program from this Queen of Pentacles energy here. That, I don't know, one of the mindsets of you need somebody to make you stable. If you're a feminine watching this, which you're coming out as the Queen of Swords, but I mean a masculine can be watching it too. It's like they've made you feel that you need somebody else beside you to make you stable, that you can't be stable on your own here, that you need somebody else with you here to make you stable, but that's not the case. You have it here now where you're actually stable on your own. You're able to offer yourself the Ace of Cups here. The Nine of Pentacles is single, abundant energy. Like you're able to, and there's the love there too. You're able to offer this for yourself, but you may have been made to feel that if you don't have a partner on your arm or some type of security that way, then there's something wrong, or you're not stable, but there's something wrong. There's like a Knight of Cups. You need somebody else to like fulfill you in a way. And it's like that's not the case here. Queen of Cups. It's almost this thing, and it's like giving yourself the nurturing, compassionate energy you didn't get from a mother. That's what this feels like here. Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. This is like you're now reparenting yourself. You're giving yourself the love and affection that you didn't receive here. And again, I want to emphasize this is not putting blame on a parent or parents here. Everybody has their things to work through. But one thing on this journey you will realize is that your behavior and your actions affect other people. If it's in a good way, that's great. If you're carrying anything negative here, then you're passing it on to somebody else. And that's something when you become mindful of this, it's something then you start to adjust your behavior and how you speak to people, your behavior towards them, how you treat them. And that's where you are. You're being mindful here now. Because I sort of feel that even though you haven't really got this from this mother father figure, you're compassionate towards them because you understand it's just something it hasn't clicked with them yet. And it's not really as if they have intentionally passed this to you. They've done it because they've never known how to deal with it or how to look at it, or nobody's ever really. There hasn't been anything that has kind of brought it to their attention, or if it has, they've kind of went, "Well, I don't really want to look at that." And I mean, I think that's sort of the really good thing now is that sort of spiritual techniques, healing techniques, mindfulness technique are more talked about now. So we have a lot more tools at our disposal to help us look at ourselves and understand why things happen the way they do. Eight of Swords. Whereas I kind of feel here this mother energy didn't really have that, or maybe still doesn't really get it, And it's like everything too, the older we are, the more set in our ways that we are, and the more baggage we have to offload. So she's dug under a lot here. And with the Eight of Swords here, I feel you'd see that. There's a lot. Six of Cups. Even going back to childhood here, you can see things, you know, for this mother energy now to start to unpack this and to sort of see things about herself. There's a lot there. Yeah, to see the truth. There's a lot there. But I mean, we can only be responsible for ourselves. And as you know, being on this healing journey, that it's a very personal thing. I've said this before. And it's like you're only ready for it when you're ready for it. And you can't push people into it. This is not your responsibility to try and sort of get this mother figure into some type of healing process here. You can suggest things. I sort of say, have you ever thought about like meditation or something? Or like, if you thought about going to yoga, have you thought about this? Have you thought about, maybe going and having an energy clearance treatment or working with crystals? Or you can suggest stuff, but you can't turn around and say to them, you need to do this. It's like telling somebody they need to lose weight. They'll lose weight when they want to lose weight, not when somebody tells them. It's the same with smoking. Like, you'll not stop smoking unless you want to stop smoking, not because somebody tells you. So just be mindful, you're working on you, and believe it or not, they are witnessing the change in you. And that might be just enough for them to go, hold on a minute here, what's going on here? What are you doing? And spark an interest. And that might be enough to tip them to sort of starting to look at themselves here. Let's get one of these. What does the collective need to know, please? Let's get one of these cards. Please and thank you. Whoa, okay, we'll take it. Protection, number 42. Protection here. You are protected. So let's see. 42, what do they want to tell us? So you've just come to this realization, and it's like, do you have a lot of compassion here because you understand it? In cultures that do not ascribe to the belief that we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, the message given to the youth is that they are stewards of this bounty earth. We do not have to stand orphaned because our human parents have failed us. Nature is within us and all around us, providing and nourishing us always. Looking back at your life so far, can you see how the challenging moments have given you more compassion? Our wounds make us human. Of course, none of us like to be in pain, and our nature as humans is to avoid suffering. Understandably, we often feel anger and grief when we recall or encounter challenging moments. We invite you to recognize these moments, to give them a place and allow them to be integrated as a part of who we are today. Engaging with a wound and seeing it transform into an ally will take you on a journey of healing faster than anything else. The wound is the piece of coal that surrounds the diamond of our essence. The wound is neither good nor bad. It is our teacher, your friend, and it leads you straight to the realization of the perfection of all that is? What if we are always held in the lap of our loving universe? This card invites us to reclaim the right to be held and urges us to lean back into the unfailing support of each moment. Inner child. Your inner child never left the magic and wonder of childhood. Even while traversing pain and trauma, children have access to the soul realm, the mythical and imaginary world. What brought you wonder as a child? Do you have imaginary friends? Can you dialogue with the birds and the trees? Close your eyes and reconnect with the wondrous world that still lives within you. All it takes is the desire to open our eyes to the magical world. Say out loud to your inner child, it brings me joy to see the world through your eyes. So there's definitely something here about revisiting the past and the childhood and seeing how it shaped our lives. And that's something that you've done here. I'm going to take it to the extended. If you want to come along, the link will be below. I'll take a look and see what we don't see coming here, any blockages and outcome, and we'll get some angelic advice. So if you want to come along, the link will be below, and I'll see you over there.